Squeaky's on the windowsill, king of the throne. Charlie's got a feather toy, she's in her zone. Doobie's in the kitchen, knocking stuff down. 3 cats ruling this crazy little town.
Hi guys, how's it going? My nose is running today, and I have a snoot full of Charlie. She's been like attached. Like I gave birth to her once or something, and she wants me to do it again. It just, Mom. So my nose is, and I found a new app. It's called Mix, M-I-X, and it's kind of, you can scroll through it like TikTok. People add like links to it, to other videos and other media, Instagram, other places. But it isn't like, look at me shake my bottom end at 13 years old. It's more of a, you scroll up and I saw an entire movie about what's underneath the ocean. I saw a guy rescue a bird that was a big, one of those ones with a long neck. I can't remember what the name they are, because there was, it sounded like a Spanish-based language that they were speaking, but so I'm not really sure what type of bird it was with the long neck in that area, because I'm not sure. It was captioned, but it was hanging from a string, and it had this bulb of rope wrapped around its, I mean, not just wrapped, like you could just unswirl it. You had to cut this off of this bird. And then I saw a guy, he called it playing with an underwater dinosaur, and he had an alligator. Very dangerous. And I was like, but this thing just played with him, like, and I'm thinking, yeah, he gets hungry enough, you better make sure that you got enough pigs and cows on your property. So he gets hungry enough, you're going to be dinner. I don't care. That thing can't love you. And then another one, a guy had raised a gorilla, Kwali, I think the gorilla's name was. He raised it from a baby, but realized it being a gorilla, it needed to be out in nature. So he set him free, and 5 years later he came back to see him, and now they'd said that this gorilla in this region had actually harmed other human beings that, or, you know, not the guy that raised him, but had harmed other human beings that came near him. And I can understand why, because they're not his dad. But he went out 5 years later in a boat and called for him, and they rekindled their relationship, kind of. Basically, it was a, you're okay. Dad sees you're okay. I'm happy. Because he had wives and children. The gorilla had wives and children and stuff, and he got introduced to them, and he followed him around while he was still there, and it was just a neat little story. So that's another reason why Aunt T's nose is running, because some of those stories just kind of get ya. And yeah, okay, I sit alone in my house and I cry at TikToks. So what? I'm a human being. I can feel stuff. Did you know that? Do you remember the animal shelter commercials at Christmas by Celine Dion? I don't care how mean and tough I was at any point in my life. If I saw one of them commercials, I would sit down and cry. So that's what I've really been doing today. I've been scrolling through this new app. It's M-I-X, Mix. And it's on my Android phone. So I don't know if you can get it for Apple. But again, it's like Pinterest and TikTok had a baby. And they said in the reviews that it was kind of like the old site StumbleUpon. And it kind of is. It really is. But it's like TikTok format. But nobody's on there critiquing You're not on there shaking your bottom end for money at 13 years old. You're not on there getting critiqued for that zit you developed overnight or any of that. You're just on there looking at information that other people have shared. And you can comment, but it's just, again, another source where things are put together in one place. And it seems safe. I've been on it for hours and I haven't seen anything gross. But it goes by the things that you press like on. Like I've pressed like on those rescue mission videos and pictures of big cats. I love big cats. Big cats, tigers and lions and leopards and panthers, and I love all of them. But I have to settle for this. Because can you imagine changing the litter box on those things? Actually, if I had a cat that big, I wouldn't have to worry about a coyote getting it. Or an eagle. I'd be like, you go poop out in the field. Sometimes I want to tell them that too. Go live somewhere else. Like, there are other places in this house to sit. Oh. So I went outside to get some raspberry leaves. Obviously you need raspberry or cranberry for this issue, or azo, which I can't immediately go get it right now. I would have to have it delivered, and then I would have to have a tip, and it's too close to the end of the month to go and buy those things right now. So I went outside and I grabbed some raspberry leaves. And I have them in the teapot, steeping. They're boiling and whatever. The least it'll do is rehydrate me and make sure that, things flow. But, again, raspberry is also another known helper for this kind of issue. So, luckily I have wild raspberries all around my house. And Henry howled at me. I looked at him, I said, do you know you're the reason I like to come outside? Do you know I like to hear you? Do you know I like to hear your ladies? I said, I come out on my porch just so I could hear you. And he shut up. Oh. So, yeah, I'm making some raspberry leaf tea. I decided to, because I heard you could eat the tansy. I've got this tansy growing in my yard, and usually it grows, I think, in beaches and stuff. So I think it's really cool that it's growing in my yard. Now, it's got toxins in it that will harm an undeveloped being within you. So you don't use that if you are of that age. But it also is a nice flavoring, and I took a little, because I can't. So whatever, it's not going to hurt me. But I took a nice little bite of that. It tasted like lavender smells. It tasted good. So, I don't know, I grabbed a few leaves of that. And then it's, eat it, don't eat it, eat it, don't eat it. It's a wild plant, eat it, don't eat it. It's toxic, it's not, it's toxic. Well, I know it's toxic. But then it also, I read down, here's another warning I saw that I did not know. Can cause brain and liver damage. So, I don't need that. So, I think those leaves are going to go back to nature outside, because I'm not going to mess with that. It's something I'm not sure about. It can do this. The raspberries, yes, I'm positive about that. You could probably eat those sticks, the canes that come off of there if you trim them. You could probably eat those even, the whole plant. But this stuff, I'm not so sure about it. So I'm just going to put those leaves back outside. Somebody else wants to risk their lives on that, go ahead, but I'm not going to do that. There's no reason. It's pretty to look at. It brings a nice piece of yellow, because what they look like to me, the middle of daisies after somebody did the he loves me not, they pulled the petals off. That's what it looks like to me. I'll tell you what, that tea I'm making, it'll probably be a little green tasting. It's plants. But I might add some coffee to it. No, I probably should be stopping the coffee and really honestly drinking the tea, or any kind of tea. Oh, but you know me, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And this old dog knows new tricks because she taught it to herself. Thank you very much. I gotta go check and see if that stuff's boiling yet. I don't want to get up. It's my lower back. It feels like I took a 5-day bike ride. And I did not. The last time I was on my bike was Sunday. And today's Tuesday. So, I gotta go check that stuff, make sure that it's boiling, and I could smell it boiling, but, you know, when you're cooking, you kind of have to have... Hey, look at my stuff while I'm trying to talk. When you're cooking, you kind of really just have to have an eye on your food, or you're gonna cause issues like burning or undercooking or fires in your kitchen. Fire! There's a little body mice. And that twig baby eating his belly again. Okay, that is boiling. Ooh. That smells like flowers too. I'm going to turn the heat off, put a lid on it, if it'll let me. Probably not. Hey, I know what I got. Ow. What do I got? Nothing. There we go. I knew I saved that for a reason. You got a lid? I put a lid on it. Oh. Yeah, I hear you, Squeaks. It ain't time until... Goodness gracious, you probably got about an hour and a half. You've been begging me since I put that last bowl down, and I fed you. No, it is not time yet. You want to discuss this with my lawyers? Am I treating you bad? Huh? Am I abusing you? Making you wait the whole 3 hours? Such neglect, you guys. Such a bad mommy. You too, huh? That all you got to say to me? Yeah. I don't know where James went. Oh, yeah. I hear you scratching wherever you went. Oh, I know where you might be. She loves it in there. She loves it in there. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad. I'm so glad. And yes, I'm wearing another white t-shirt. You know what? Because I have several of them. So, guess what? Yeah, T looks like she wears the same clothes every day. She does not. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I change my clothes a couple times during the day, and I go to bed in the one, and I wake up and I decide, you know, it's time to vlog. So I don't even bother changing. And then I take my shower and all that stuff. You don't see me doing that. I'm not going to take you in the shower with me when I'm vlogging. That's not allowed, you guys. You get your mind out of that gutter. Whew. Woo! Get your mind out of the gutter. My mind lives in the gutter, so you're lucky you get a normal conversation from me. Normal. It's one-sided because you have to sit there and listen to me, or, click away. Oh, I listened to you for 5 minutes. You suck. Bye! I get that. Waves of like 5 people leave and then 6 people come in and whatever. Whatever. That's cool. No, I'm not. Everyone's cup of tea. Cup of tea. But that's okay. Everybody's allowed to like who they do and who they don't. I mean, I don't feel bad when people leave. Because if I came across a channel like this, I'd listen to her for a while. And then, because they were a stranger, then I'd be like, you don't even know who I am. Bye. Unless they absolutely had constant, like, really good, enriching content, which I do not. I just ramble on and talk. And my titles touch a little bit on what I might have said in my video at one point, but I don't have a clue on what to name these things, so I just randomly pick something that's in the video and say I said this in there. The dates showing up, which was a good idea, is why I've implemented it. My mom, she says, I don't know what date I'm looking at. She says, did I already watch this video? She says, I don't know what day it is you're talking. And so, you know what? I started putting the dates in my titles. Because again, it wasn't just for Mom. Yes, going back to my original intro and outro, squeaky and stay weird. That was definitely for Mom. Little thing that I could do. It's not annoying. It's cool. People like it. It's original. My own art, actually, the pictures and the little stickers that pop up and that kind of stuff in the intro and the outro. Well, the outro, I filmed it myself. And I just stood there and just filmed it. And then I added, music from that was already on my phone, and stickers to the eyes and that kind. That's all my own artwork. It's my own stuff. I mess around with computer programs like you wouldn't believe. However, I just randomly start pushing buttons. Like when I get a phone, the first thing I do is I go in the settings and I find out how many gigaboys? Gigaboy. What the heck is a gigaboy? Sounds like a Pokemon. But I check out, the gigabytes, the specs, that kind of stuff. Do I need to go buy a chip? Yeah, I know all that thing is all those things should be in the description when you buy them. Some of those things are not. Some of those things you have to wait until you get, access to the manual online, because they don't put manuals in the phones anymore, which is crazy, because I guess. Because how do you do that without instructions? Well, you turn the dang thing on and you start pressing buttons. The worst thing you're going to do is lock yourself out. And it's easier to do on an Apple than it is an Android. The Android, it just says, oh, wait 5 minutes and try again. Apple? Oh, you get to go to the store 10 miles down the road and get it unlocked. If they agree to your term, or you agree to their terms. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I mean, Apple and Android, it's the same fight. Apple and Android. Coke and Pepsi. Ford and Chevy. La la la, la la la. You know what? I like what works for me. That's all. I just like what works for me. So, man, with that pain, I'm thinking it's a stone. And if it's a stone, there's nothing I can do but just have pain. Yeah. Go me. You know what, though? 51, and I never had one. My mom's always having them. My siblings always having them. But I've never had one. So, if this is, it is. Nothing I can do about it. Antibiotics, nothing's going to work for it. Except for passing it. So, it could be the two. Either of the two. I don't have a fever. That's one thing. That's why I don't think, hey, that's the rainbow on my shirt from my window. That's why I don't think it is an infection, because I don't have a fever. I just feel, ugh. And I feel, I don't know. That, and it's in the middle of my back, right above my tailbone. And there's 2 spots. And I'll bet you, kidneys. So that's what, and you can't tell unless you get a doctor to tell you the difference. Unless you take a test. Hello, Bapow. Hi. You gonna come here for your staycation again? You've only been off of me for 45 minutes. There she is again. Oh, my finger, the arthritis. I was crocheting yesterday. Not anything different. But it feels like I broke my finger. Like this half, like those 2 fingers feel broke. Well, not really broke, because I've had broken bones before and they're not that severe. But they really hurt. They really do. Now we got a little puff on us with a rainbow on us. So yeah, a rainbow on me. I like it. James is going to try to escape, which she knows she can't, but she's going to try anyway. Let's not lose our glasses for 3 hours again. Let's hang them up over here, and then forget they're there, and lose them for 3 hours again. That's what I do, though, is I'll forget where things are. And I'll be like, I will put this right. I know exactly where that is. I know exactly where is it. That's not where I put it. That's where I would have put it. Why didn't I put it there? Probably because I found a better spot for it. Probably all in the great beyond, hidden underneath something, because a cat drug it back there. Did you do that? Did you do that? Did you do that? Go girl. Go girl. Yeah, see? Charlie does not agree that I'm neglecting them. Unless she's not allowed on my lap. And most of the time I kick her off my lap. Oh, that's so pretty. If I wasn't in the picture ruining it, my big old fat body. You know what my hair looks like today? If you look at the Wizard of Oz, on those guys, the Oreo guys. I always called them Oreo guys because he went Oreo. Their hats, the big old tall fluffy hats they wear, kind of like the British military hats for the guys around the castle, the guards around the castles, or a band hat maybe. That's what my hair looks like. Oh. So that's what I was doing today, gathering leaves. Oh, did I say some of those raspberries out there have blossoms and fruit on them again? Like they're going to ripen. They're not going to because I saw frost. But they got blooms. I should take you out there and show you, but I don't really feel like walking through that again. Of course, then we could see Henry. I think he's a black chicken. I think he's a black rooster. I'm not sure. They have several different really cool, like there's a silky in there, and I don't know, I didn't stop and stare for too long because I enjoy them. And I'd really love to just sit there and just watch them. But I realize that's creepy. And I don't want to, like, invade my neighbor's privacy, and make them think I'm creeping on their animals or anything. And I don't, if there's something happens to those guys, like somebody hurts them or goes in and takes one or something, like, they could blame me because I'm being weird. And I'm not meaning to be weird. I'm just enjoying their chickens and not on a plate. I didn't see their turkeys out yet, but I think they have ducks in there too. They have a whole couple of flocks back there of birds, different types of birds. It is cool to look at and listen to. And if I had the money and the oomph and the help, I would probably raise animals like that too. But the closest I could do right now is enjoy their animals from afar. And no, I don't approach their cage. I don't approach their yard. I just glance over there. Or I sit with my back. Oh, bless you, Squeaky. With my back to their yard. And stare off into, or play my games. Or stare off into the road and listen to them. I call it old lady cackles. It sounds like a bunch of old ladies cackling. So, who's the old lady sitting there gossiping, and he sits there, oh, shut up, it's time to do your job. And they're like, and he's like, shut up. And yes, I make up scenarios like that. The ladies are gossiping and the guys want them to be quiet and deal with them. I still can't determine, and I can't tell by just like glancing, I still can't determine on whether I hear two roosters or one. Because I swear I heard Henry, and then just shortly after Henry, I heard someone else. I don't know. I guess I could be friendly and go talk to the people, but that just feels weird to me, and I don't want them to feel not safe in their own home. I'm not intending to be a weird creeper, but it can be perceived as that, so I just kind of keep my distance. But I did talk to him today. But I did say nice stuff, so if they heard me, at least they heard me being nice. What would you do if your neighbor was, like, you didn't know your neighbor, and they didn't really do anything to you? Maybe they said something to you one time, but that's it. But what would you do if your neighbor was checking your livestock out, just watching them, because it's fun for them, but you don't know that? What would you do? How would you feel about that? I don't know what to do in that situation besides try to mind my own business, except for I'll hear a noise behind me and I'll look. It's normal to, if you hear a snapping stick behind you, you're going to look. Well, they throw sticks in there for the chickens to, I don't know, peck on. I don't know. Stick something. They had something in there they were just snapping the other day. So I heard that behind me, and it was dusk. So I'm going to turn around and look. But you know, like I said, I don't want them thinking I'm going to hurt, the people behind me, because that's not my intentions. I just enjoy their animals. I mean, and I guess it might be creepy to even just say that to them, but I don't want, again, I don't know. That's my conundrum, and I just have to just keep mulling it over, I guess. I just guess I gotta keep minding my own business. And it's okay to enjoy their sounds. What about you, little miss? What are you doing? You kind of match my shirt. Except for your ears. They can see your ears, your eyes, and your nose. The rest of you, you disappear into my shirt. Like my other, not my direct neighbors, my siblings' direct neighbors. Of course, I knew this girl. She was my neighbor when I was a kid, so that's a little different. And she knows me. She's got horses, so I'll walk across the road, to the property across the road, and just stand there and watch the horses. And if the gal comes out, I say, "Hi, watch your horses." Hi, basically thumbs up, hi. So she knows I go watch their horses. And sometimes I'll walk even further down the road and catch a glance at the cows that I hear in the springtime. They're always, making more cows. So I'll go down there and I'll catch a glance at them, watch them for a while. But not during deer season. I just basically stay in the house during deer season. Because you get people out there, anything moves and their bullet goes. So that's why orange. But still. You guys, I have been seeing this design all over everything freaking Timo sends me. 2 designs. Male anatomy and buttholes. These not cotton cloths. They even sent me a brown one with it, with the thing. I can't do this with her. What is that? Timu. Then, my carpet's a little bit covered right now. But those pretty green spirals on it. Male anatomy. Then I look over at my beautiful carpet over here. What is that? Timu? Or am I just being Auntie? Don't tell me those aren't in there. It's just a fact I saw it. I'd get up and show you the green one on the floor, but I'm kind of in lockdown. Ah! Extreme close-up of Charlie's belly. Oh. So, where's that brown one? I have it somewhere. I took the ugly colors. Like, they have really pretty, purple. That almost feels cotton, but it's not. So they do have some really pretty colored ones, but a brown one with that design in the middle. You don't tell me that wasn't intentional. like Disney and finding the hidden Easter eggs. People throw Disney draws those and stuff, or they used to. I think people caught on to it, but they would just in a little corner somewhere, just a blip of a something. I think they said Looney Tunes did it too, but I'm positive. I mean, everybody's seen that Disney's done it. The Little Mermaid's castle. They changed the art design, but the Little Mermaid's castle. Or you know what? They're just weirdos like me. That just happen to see stuff like that. They call it something. Seeing, not the anatomy, but seeing faces in stuff. They call that something. I can't remember what they call it, but I see faces and stuff. I see smiley faces and stuff. I'm also a cloud watcher. I don't like to just look at everybody's animals. I like to go outside and watch the clouds too. And pick out the shapes and stuff like that. There was a gentleman, an old folk singer, not an old folk singer. I guess he was in his 80s, and he passed away in December, just recently. And he was probably maybe in his 30s, 40s when I first heard his music. It was at Bliss Fest, and his name was Josh White Jr. He was it bluegrass, or I think it was a folk singer. And he was a black gentleman. He was a good-looking black gentleman too, though. He was a good-looking man, and he had a beautiful voice. But he had a song, and you'll have to look at it, Josh White Jr. And apparently his dad, Josh White, was a blues singer or something as well. And he had a song called Cloud People. And it's just a cute little, I wish I could sing it to you, but I don't know if it has a copyright. It's just a cute little, the melody is just, it's cute. La 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 la, something like that. Something like that. And I almost got that, you son of a gun. Get out of my cat's hair. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. But, anyway, I've loved that song because I loved watching clouds. And again, at 10 years old, when you have one of your first crushes, it makes it even more fun. And yes, he was probably one of my first crushes. You know who my first crush was? What was his name? I was about 5, I think. And it was Hee Haw. And I think I just loved the dude's smile. The Roy guy on there. I can't remember his last name. Roy Clark, I think it was. I was like 5. And he seemed like a happy person. And a fun person. And so I was like, he's my friend. I did a lot of that when I was a kid. I was lonely because I was undiagnosed autistic. And we didn't know that. And where I was supposed to have a sister and a friend, I had somebody I had to watch my back around. And so I was lonely. So I would develop in my playtime by myself friendships with my cartoon characters and friendships with the TV characters. And they all were my family. They were my life. They were my family. And I would go, they'd tell me go clean my room, and I'd go in my room and I'd talk to my TV characters. I had my TV dad. I can't remember my whole family, but I had a lot of imaginary friends. Again, I was lonely. I didn't have a lot of real friends. It was those kind of relationships were sabotaged before I even looked at people's face. Again, the sibling went to school in the places I went to school, and she trashed me. And they believed her. So, like I said, and my dolls. My Shira doll, that was my sister. Shira and Katra, we beat her up. We kicked her butt. She, that evil Katra, she went and, what we do? We dug holes in the snowbank. She got to live in the ice. I did a lot of that when I was a kid too, digging tunnels in the snow. Again, I got to play by myself a lot. So I would go outside, I'd dig tunnels in the snow, and I'd pick the icicles off the side of the house and make ice castles, and we would be out there in the ice, me and my dolls, and we'd be having winter. We'd be basically Elsa and Anna and all that stuff before Elsa and Anna were even shown on the movie screen. We were just me and Shira and Katra, and I had one with a purple hair, I think it was purple or pink, I can't remember. I had like 4 or 5 of the girl dolls. Again, I wanted He-Man dolls, but there was He-Man, and then there was She-Ra, and that was offered. The She-Ra was offered to the females. And when I was younger, if you were a girl, you got the girl selection. If you were a boy, you got the boy selection. Otherwise, and that's just how society was. So I got chosen because I liked her, She-Ra too. So they chose She-Ra for me, which is cool. Again, that is not a bad thing. It's just the way it was. Like nowadays with these tools that are pink. What's the difference in a pink tool? Like if a staple gun is built the same and it's orange or it's pink, what's the difference? Except for, I have a pretty little sticker on my staple gun. Sometimes though, I'll go for the pink products, like on Amazon, because they're cheaper. They're like $1 or $2 cheaper. I'm like, hey, okay, whatever, it'll do the job. And it's a lot of things that I I don't choose the color. I will go through and I will choose what color is cheaper. Like the red popcorn maker is $35, and the bone color, the cream colored one is $18. Well, I'm going to get the $18 one because I don't care if it's red or white. It's going to make popcorn. You don't eat the label. It doesn't matter what's on the outside as long as it does the same thing. I'm sitting out here with my winter coat on. I misjudged on how hot it would be or how cold it would be. But I decided to really buckle down. I took a quick ride. That felt great. To the store, and I bought different cranberry juices. And on my way back, I remember, okay, I picked up 4 things. 2 things are the same thing, but they're going to be for something. I'll explain to you what these are. Okay. That green thing, I remember that in a sewing room, in a crafting room. It was free. This, somebody mistook it. Because it's just been sitting there for weeks for free. I looked at that thing when I picked it up, and I'm like, it's a candle holder. Same thing I thought. It's got these. That's a burner. That's a cooker. And then I figured with these, there's 2 of those. They're rusty and gross, and you don't want your food in them. But I could experiment with like making a solar lamp out of that with those flat solar lights, because you can get into the top of those and get the battery. So if you glue them into those pans, you could have a big lamp that's charged that you can turn it on and off and half of it on, whatever. So that's I went scavenging again. Scavenger. I'm a scavenger. Yes, I am. But like I said, that candle holder ain't just a candle holder. That's a stove. I mean, especially since it's all brass. You set that up on top of a brick, and you light it. Well, I guess you don't want to do that outside because wind. But you set that up on top of your counter, on top of a tile, with a tea light in there, and then you put even one of your if you have a gas stove, which I do, they have those cast iron squares on top. You could use that. Anything. That's pretty cool. I'm going to open this juice. I should probably cut all of it in half. I got 4 bottles. Not of the grape one, but I got 1 grape one and 1 just regular, or 2 just regular cranberry, and an apple. An apple to cut the regular cranberry, because that tastes yuck. That to me anyway. I guess I could cut it with my raspberry tea that I just made. But I am thirsty, so I thought, okay. These are the 2 go-tos for this kind of issue. Unless you can get to the doctor. Some people cannot. I have a doctor on paper, but she's never in the building. And the only reason she's on paper for me is because if I can get an appointment in there, it's convenient because I can get there myself. So, I'm trying this. I'm almost sure it's a stone, though. So, I don't know. Showed you my finds. It's stuff like that. I mean, I guess you could really still use those baking pans if you used liners like you're supposed to. But you really don't want food in those. I'm really tired, and I'm going to go now. So I'm gonna say thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. You have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye.